Welcome to the Destiny Suite channel. My name is Lucrece Guzma, and I'm here to serve you with the resources you need to grow in the Lord, in your business, and life. In this tutorial, I'm going to show you how to edit an Elementor page. You're going to familiarize yourself with the widgets, understand where to go to edit certain items, and we're going to start from the menu to footer. You can use this technique on any Elementor page, but the template that we'll be using in this video is called the Classy Minimalist, and it can be found at www.destiny31.co. It was designed for those who need a simple e-commerce solution and a website that has blog capabilities. So the first thing is to make sure that you are on the dashboard. You're going to go to Pages, and the first step is to edit the page that you're going to do. So when you first receive the template, you're going to have these pages as default. So now, since you're creating your own website with this template, you have to change the names of that homepage. So what you're going to do is go to Pages, then find the page where it says Classy Minimalist Template, front page, Elementor. This means that this is the home page. You're going to click on Quick Edit, and you're going to change the name and the slug. Let me show you one that's already complete. So this is my mock website, which I transformed into a bakery website. So I found the front page and I went to Quick Edit, and notice I changed the name to my brand or my fake brand, and also the slug I put home on there. You could call the slug anything you want, but just make sure it's memorable that you can remember it. Okay, so that's the first thing you do. And once you're done, you click on Update. All right, so that's the first thing you're going to do. Next, let's go ahead and go to the main page. So you can click here, or you can just simply click on Edit with Elementor here, and it'll take you to the page. I'm going to go ahead and do the same thing on my mock website using the template so you can see the difference. All right, so inside here, this is what you'll get when you order it. And then I'm going to share side by side what you can do. So we're going to start from the header and go, step by step toward the bottom. So it's easy to access the header. All you have to do is just click on header where it turns green, and it's going to go into the header. Okay. So just to explain, there's two types of header here. You'll see the desktop header, which is up here, and then you'll see the mobile and tablet header, on which I'll show you when we get to mobile view. Whenever you need to edit the desktop, you're going to go ahead and do that here. And whenever you need to edit mobile, you're just going to click on the responsive mode here next to this eye here down here on the bottom left. And you're going to see some options here at the top. You're going to have mobile, you're going to have tablet, you're going to have desktop. This is an additional one that I have here, but you don't need to focus on that. So let's go to mobile. Notice that mobile's header is here, and if you need to edit it, you just go ahead and do what you have to do. Let me get you acquainted here with the navigator. So the navigator is an easy way to find things. In case you can't reach them or click on them here, you can find them here in the navigator. So the desktop header, you'll notice that all of its widgets are here. So the logo, whenever you click on it, notice there's a little dark square around it to show you that's where it is. So you can edit it like that as well. The navigation menu is here, and the cart is there. So I just wanted to share that with you. Same thing with mobile. When you go to mobile, when you click on that, the section is highlighted here. Whenever you need to access the logo, you could do the same thing here, the cart, and then the menu. Okay. So let me show you how we did ours, how we transformed ours. So I'm going to go ahead and click on the header here. And let me show you how we transformed ours. So what we did, we decided like, hey, we don't want a transparent background. We're going to change it to white. We changed it to white. We changed our logo. We changed our fonts and our colors. We did some edits with the columns, and we also edited our cart. So to do that, what we did is, of course, you can use your navigator, or you could click on the little hover over the widget, and then you'll see a pink pencil. So all you have to do is click on that, and then find your logo, and then click there. And once you're done, you click on select, and you'll be able to get that in there. Another thing you need to do with your logo is to connect it to your homepage. So whatever your URL is for your website, make sure you copy it. You can do that up here. You can copy it up to the first /. You just copy your link and then put that link inside here. So whenever, anywhere they are on the website, they can click on your logo. It could take them to the home page. You can also edit the width, the size. All right, so you can do that to fix that. And so that's how you update your logo. Next, let's talk about the navigation menu. And you can ignore the extra stuff here. This is just part of the editor. The changes won't show up like that. Okay. So, to change your menu, what you're going to do is you're going to look here on the left, and there's many things you can do. Make sure you choose the right menu that you have here. So notice when I click out of that, there's no main menu, but the main menu duplicate, that's the name of my menu. Okay. So you could change the layout. You could change the alignment of where it is. You can have a pointer. On the template, it has a pointer, but this doesn't have a pointer. And you can also do lots of things with the mobile drop down, which is this toggle here, but it doesn't show on desktop, so don't worry about that. And yeah, you can do lots of different things here. So to edit the menu on the desktop, what we're going to do is going to go to style, and here you can change your fonts. If you want to know how to upload your own fonts in Elementor, I will link the video at the end in the credits. So you can change your font. You could change the size. You could change the bolding, whatever you'd like to do here. Transform it the way you want. You can do that. Here you can change the colors. We already added these colors, and we also have a video showing you how to add the colors. You can check that out. I'll link that also. If you want a divider, that's up to you, but you don't need one. But in case you did, that's how it would look. All right. And yeah, you could adjust the padding. Now, padding is the space around each section of the menu. So that's horizontal padding. And then vertical padding is the space at the top and the bottom. Okay? And then you could edit the space between. If you want to create more space or less space between each menu item, you can do that as well. So let's finish up the desktop menu. All right. So now let's go ahead to the cart. Let's go ahead to the cart. I'm going to go ahead and remove the navigator. And whenever you need the navigator, you can easily access it down here. You'll see it after history. You'll see it next here. You can go ahead and just click on that, and it will pop up again. And if you don't need it, just exit it out. So I just want you to see a little better. So let's go ahead and do that. Here in the cart, you can do lots of things here. You can do the settings. You can look at the settings that you want. Maybe you don't want the icon, or maybe you want the icon to be a basket or a cart, whatever you'd like. You can choose your options. You can choose if you want a bubble, if you want plain or nothing. That's all up to your preference. You can play around with that. And in the cart settings, you will look at the ones that you want to show, what you don't want to show, and also the cart type. There's mini cart and there's side cart. It's up to you. You can choose which one you want. You can choose whether you want the cart to appear when the person hovers over it like this, or you can choose that they have to click the cart. You can do that as well. Okay. So close cart is the X at the top if you want to show that. Of course, you want to keep that there to make it easy to navigate. And to remove an item, these are these here if you want to show that as well. If you want to show the price and the quantity, maybe you just want to show the price. It's all up to you. You have the choice to do that. In the buttons, you have a choice to either put both or you could put one. And you can also change the positioning. So you could put it at the top here, or you can put it at the bottom. Additional options you have here are you can automatically open the cart. It opens the cart every time an item is added. I think that might be a little too stressful for the person purchasing. They'll have to keep navigating back. So I suggest you keep that off, and you can keep this one on, automatically updating the cart. Okay? All right, so let's go to styling. So in styling, if you want to style the menu cart, the text color, if you want to change it, which is going to change the text color of the price and the icon, you can do that here. And you can change the background color of your button here. You can change it here to whatever you want. So that's up to you. You can do that if you'd like. All right. If you want to add a border, maybe you don't want any color and you just want to have one with a border. If that's the case, you can click on the color and then take this slider down here where it has that black color and then just slide it all the way down. It's going to make it transparent. So that's if you wanted to do that. Oh, let me go back and fix that. All right. So if you wanted to add a border, you can do that as well. You could adjust the width. You can do all of that great stuff. As for the icon, you can change the size, the spacing, the padding around it. You can do that. The items indicator, which is that bubble or whichever items indicator you choose, you can change the color right here. And before we move on, always think about the hover state as well. So when someone hovers over it, it changes color. So make sure you change the color here as well in the hover state. And you can do that for the rest of the settings. So now let's go to the cart. In the cart, this is when they open it and you want to edit how this is going to look. You're going to go here. You can change the background color to whatever you'd like here. It's all up to you. You could do whatever you like. So you can add a border if you want, and there are different border types you can have, and you can try that out and see how that looks. You can edit a border radius, things of that nature. Add a shadow. In the close cart button, you can change the size of how big it is. So I can make it smaller or I can make it bigger. Okay. All right. And the remove item section. The remove item section edits this part right here. So you can easily edit the size of how big that circle is and the color here. And don't forget hover as well. If you want to add a hover, I decided not to, but if you wanted to add a hover color, you can. The subtotal, which is right here, you can edit the color, the typography to match your brand, the alignment. You could do left, you could do centered, you can do right, whichever you prefer. You can add a divider, which I did, and I made it solid. And you could add the width So I did top and bottom because I prefer that. Okay. So next, to edit the products, which are these sections here, you can edit the typography, which is going to edit this part here. You can edit the color here. If you want to hover, that's up to you. I preferred not to do that. So if you have variations, if that option was available, you can edit that here. The product price, you can edit that. So you can edit each piece to your liking. Okay. The quantity, so you can edit the color and the typography for each piece. So maybe you want to be creative with this one. Like, for example, I had one type of font for this and one type of font for that. But it's up to you what you would like to do. If you want to add a divider between each, you can do that as well. And you can choose from their selections. And here's how you choose the color of the divider. And like I said, you could change the weight of the line and the spacing. All right. So that's for the products. Unfortunately, the images you can't really change because that's a WooCommerce thing. So, that's that. For the buttons, you can decide if you want it inline. Inline means they're next to each other, and you can stack them where they'll be on one on top of the other. So that's up to you. You could put space between them. You could, of course, change the typography of your button to match your branding. And the view cart button, you edit each button differently. So maybe you wanted a different color for this and a different color for that. That's up to you as well. You can do those edits right here. Okay, so you can edit text color, the background color, whatever you like here for the view cart button. And same thing with the hover. You do that as well here. And then once you're done, you go to checkout, which is right under it. At checkout, you do the same thing. You can edit the typography, edit your colors, and hover state. All right. And you can also add border radius. What border radius is if you wanted to make the edges round as opposed to like straight. Because when you have rounded edges, it looks more pleasing to the eye. So you can add a border radius here as well. Padding is, like I said, the space around the text. So on the right and the left and top and bottom. And then messages. Messages are like whenever you click on something and there's an error message or thank you for purchasing or something like that. And if you want your messages to appear in a certain color and a certain font, you can edit that here. And you also can do the alignment here. Okay, so that's how you edit your cart. Okay. And remember, whatever you do for the desktop, you have to do the same thing for your mobile view. So in mobile view, you're going to go there as well. And you're going to edit that as well. And if you want to know how to change the background color, let's say you don't want transparent background, you want to put a color to your background. Let's go back quickly and show you how to do that. Just click on the section. So this little pink bar selects the whole section. And you're going to go to style. And you're going to click on background type. For you, it might be closed. Like it's not going to have this. But you click on classic. Like it's going to look like this. So when you click on classic, and then you could choose your color that you want. There's a lot of stuff you can do with this background. But, as a menu, I think it's either you have a solid color background or a transparent background. Let's say you change your mind and you say, oh, I don't like this color or I don't want color anymore and I want to go back to transparent. Just simply click on the color and drag this slider to the left, all the way to the left, and it's going to make it transparent. Okay, so you'll be good to go with that. All right, so let's take a look at mobile view really quick before we move on to the next section. So in mobile view, you're going to do the same thing. You're going to go ahead and click on your logo. And if you have difficulty choosing things, like if something's overlapping, simply just open your navigator and you'll be able to find where that is. So here's the image. It's right here. And make sure you edit it. And here are the settings. You can change it to whatever your logo is. And you can edit your link. Always remember to edit your link. Okay. All right. So that's how you do that. Let's do a side-by-side comparison so you can see what the transformation that happened. So as you can see, this is a transparent background and this has a white background. Okay. So you can change it to whatever color you want. All right. It's the same way on desktop and mobile as far as styling is concerned. So I'm not going to go over that again, but you can change the width to the logo to make it fit right. And I recommend always have a phone on hand to check as you're editing, because sometimes it looks different on different phones. So make sure you check that. Okay. And then you can go ahead and edit your cart the same way that you did for the desktop. So you follow the same thing. I just wanted to briefly show you how to access it. Okay, so you could do that. You could put a bag. You could put whatever you want. You could edit it the same way. Now let's talk about the toggle. The toggle is a little different since, in desktop, all the menu items are seen, but here it's hidden. So to go here for the toggle, you're going to scroll down to these toggle settings here. So under here in the settings, you can decide if you want it to the right, to the center, to the left. So that's up to you how you want that. Also, if you want to change the sizing of the columns, you can do that as well. And you do that by clicking on this little, hovering over it and clicking on that gray column. And you could change the dimensions. You could maybe want 50% this, another percentage here and another percent. It's all up to you, just as long as it equals 100%. So that's how you edit columns here. So let's go back quickly to the toggle. So in the toggle button, you can style it. When you go here to style it, you're just going to, the typography is going to affect what happens when you open. Hold on. When you open the toggle here. So that's what the typography affects. And in the hover, if you want to change the hover, the colors of the hover, you can do that as well. But I wouldn't recommend touching this one because this one's for the main menu. So to edit the mobile menu, you're going to go to drop down. And then this is where you make those edits. So here you got the text color, you got the background color and the typography. You do all of that. You could also do the hover state, that's what we did here. And you could also do active. Okay. And yeah, you could do lots of things. You can play around with that and see what works for you. But yeah, that's how that works. Okay. And you may be wondering how did we make it full width? How did we make this full width? Let's go back to content. And then you're going to see that towards the bottom, under mobile drop down, there's a section that says full width. So I put yes. If you don't want it full width, it's going to look like this. So we don't want that. So you got to make sure you put full width. Okay. All right. So that's it. That's how you edit your menu. And always, whenever you're done with mobile, always check tablet to make sure it's correct and to make sure everything is working fine. Normally, tablet and phone are the same, and so you'll be able to do that. Now, you may be wondering, how am I able to show the tablet mode menu without showing it on the desktop menu. What happened? What's happening behind the scenes? So let me show you what we did. So we did this for you. In desktop mode, what we did is when you click on here, the section, and you go to advanced and you go to responsive, you'll notice that we made sure that we hid this section on tablet and on mobile. So that means when people go on tablet and on the phone, they won't see this. Okay. And then what we did, we created another menu for the mobile, and we did the same thing. When you click on it and go to advanced, this time we hide them on desktop and widescreen. Yours probably don't have widescreen. I added widescreen for myself, but you don't have to do that. Okay, so that's how that works. If you want something to show on desktop and not show on mobile, you just have to come here to advanced, responsive, and decide what you want to hide and what you want to show. Okay. All right, so we are done with the menu. So now we're going to go back to the page. Elementor has made it very easy now to navigate between the header and the page, so that's pretty cool. So we're going to go back and do that here. So I'm not going to save anything because this was a template, and we're going to go ahead and do that here. So let's say you're done with this, you just go back to edit page. And don't worry if the changes don't show up, just give it a few. The changes will show. Okay. So now the next part we're going to edit is the actual header right here, which is this part. The rest of this is pretty much a breeze to edit. You can play around and do what you like with it, but there's lots of things you can do to edit in Elementor. All you really have to do is hover, and you see this little pink pencil. And then settings come up on the left here. You can change your title. You could put a link to it and decide on the alignment. And you could style it the way you want here, which from text color, typography, and things of that nature. So it's very straightforward to use Elementor. That's why we highly recommend it if you're, trying to do your own thing. So that's how you edit that. And same thing with the buttons. These buttons are inline. So, and I'll show you how to change them. Maybe you don't want all of them. Maybe you want to do full width. I'm going to show you an example of what we did with our template. So in our case here, we decided like, hey, we don't want the text on the left. We decided we want to go to center. We want to put it centered. And we also needed to adjust our button so it can be centered. So here's what we did. All right. In the template, when you have your section, so it has a margin on the right. So what you do is, as you can see, if I click on this, column, you'll see that it has and go to advanced, you'll see that it has a margin on the right, which makes the text to sit on the left the way it's supposed to be. However, I decided I don't want to do that. So I'm going to go ahead and center what I have. So this is what I did. I went to the same column. And what I did, I went to advanced. And instead of doing that, I put 200 to the right and 200 to the left. So what I did, I removed the margin on the right or lessened it, and I put margins on both sides so it can center. So if you need to adjust yours, you can do that as well. Let's say if you want to do something to the left, so you probably want to put maybe 700 on the left, and it will move your text to the left. So that's how you do that. Same thing with this tagline here. You can do that as well. But let's finish up with this. So To style your text and to edit your text, you change whatever you want in here and you put that information. You can do left justification, you can do center, you could do right, but it's up to you. I decided to do center, and then I added margin on the right and the left. To style, your text, of course, you just follow the same procedures, colors here, typography, and you can change around and do whatever you'd like here as well. And in the typography, that's how you change the sizing of your text to fit it the way that you want. All right. Next is this little tagline here. You can click on that pink pencil and you can edit your text here and and you can edit your style as well. Now let's talk about the buttons. To edit your buttons, you have to first click on the button and go to advanced. And then this is where you move around your text. First, you'll find out that it's on inline. So let me show you what I mean. So if you click on the actual one and go to advanced, click on the button, go to advanced, you'll notice that it says inline auto, and same thing here. It says inline auto. But if you want to move it, you have a few things to do. So what you're going to do, you're going to change it from inline auto to custom. And what's happening here, I want it to be centered. So I'm going to make sure there's this little drop down thing right on top of this. It's going to be on pixels, but you're going to change it to percent. And then as in percent, you're going to just put 50%. So you want this to be 50% here and the other one can be 50%. Now, if you still need some adjusting to make sure that it's pixel perfect, you can also add margin. Margin is space outside of the widget, not inside. So I decided to add 10 to the right and nothing, or yeah, I did add something here. 10 to the left here, advanced, and 10 to the left, just to make it right. But that's how you adjust the buttons to move them around. So to review, you just click on the button, go to advanced, change it from inline to custom and put 50%. And you're going to go ahead and do the same thing for this button, custom, change it to 50%, and you should see it line up correctly. Now to edit buttons, it's the same thing. If you need to change the colors and the styles, you could change the content. You could change the text here. You could change your link. You can update your link here. Yeah, there's lots of things you can do, and you can take a look at that. And then under style, this is where you change how everything looks in the normal state and in hover state. So you can do that as well. Okay. All right, now let's move on to the next section. So we did our header. So now let's look at our category sections. We already worked on our menu anchors, and if you want to know more about menu anchors, you can check out our video that we did showing you how to edit those. So we're not going to work on that in this video. We're just going to work on editing, straight editing. And we're not going to worry about the products because we're going to do the products in another video. All right. So as you can see here, in the category section, you have, a line here and you got this layout here. But we changed it we changed our styling to make it match our brand. And we also did some stuff here with the products as well, because we decided we don't want square. Just to make it a little fun for a bakery, we decided to go circle. So that's that. I'm going to show you how to do that. All right, first, let's say, for example, this line on the left. Maybe you don't want the lines. Okay, so let me show you how to do that. And this goes across the board for the whole template. If you don't want the lines, simply click on the column, go to style, go to border, And then under border type, you'll see solid. If you don't want the border anymore, you can just click none. Okay, so you can do that. All right, and that goes for all of them. So just click on the column, click on style, click on border, and you'll find that information here, and you can edit that if you want. Now, if you want to keep that styling and you just want to change the color, just go ahead and simply change the color here. All right. I'm not going to go over editing text because we did that in the header, but it's the same process. You can edit your text, your header, and go to style, and you'll find that information here. Now, let's go to something important, which is the products. So, as you're working on the template, you're going to notice that the products are not going to change because we're going to do that in a future video. So, but we can affect how things look as far as the styling is concerned. So the products probably won't change immediately, but the styling will. Okay, and we'll show you how to change the products in another video. So what we did here is you click on the product widget. This is part of WooCommerce. And you can decide like how many columns you want and how many rows. Let's say if you only had 2 products, or something like that. So maybe you want to do 2 columns. You can do that, but it's gonna like look really big and weird. um, and you could do 3 rows. It's all up to you what you want to do, but you can play around with that and decide what you want to do. And you could change. You could always change the sizing of everything. Okay. And then under query, this is important. Okay, this is what's going to decide what category goes where. So let's say this category is cakes. So I need to make sure that only cakes appear in this category. Or maybe in your case, maybe it's different clothing. So whatever category is in that clothing, you want to make sure that's that. You're going to go ahead and put product categories cakes. Now, you're not going to do this now, but I just wanted to give you a preview of what you're going to do so you understand what query is. So we're not going to worry too much about that, but I just wanted to show you. You're going to do that last, okay? So don't worry about that. So now let's go into the styling. After we decide what content is going to be there, let's go into the styling. So I decided that I wanted to put some spacing between these so you can edit the space between the products. You can do that as well. You can put a row gap, which is here. And then the image, this is where I was able to change the image to circle. I went to border radius and then I made it at 200. You can change it to whatever you'd like. You can put 20. Maybe you don't want a round circle, but you just want rounded ends. You can do that. It's all up to you what you'd like to do. All right. Under title, this is the title of the product. You can change the color and typography here. If your product has a rating, you can change that here as well if you do that on your website. The price, you can change the color of the price. Regular price, you can put that happens when you have a sale, so they can show the difference between sale price and regular price. You can do that as well. Typography, you can change that here. Now the button, this is where you edit the button. Remember, always do normal and hover state. You got text color and background color. And typography, border type, all the same things that we saw in the other elements. And here's something that I recommend that you keep on, which is automatically align buttons, because sometimes some titles will spill over and create 2 lines, but at least you want to give the impression that everything is lined up. So when you align the buttons, everything looks decent. But if you took it out, you'll notice that this one is lower than the rest of these, and we don't want that. So just keep that open. This is the color of when they click on add to cart. There's a little message that appears here on the right. You could edit the color of that message. Okay. Now let's go to box. The box, I normally don't really touch it, but it's up to you if you want to do something with that. It's up to you. You don't have to. But the box is basically the section where the product is. So let's play around with this and show you what I mean. So let's say you want to change the background color of the box. Um, like I said, you could change the border width. You could put padding around it. You could put a radius around it. There's lots of things you can do with this. Um, let's see, you could put a border radius. If you want something interesting, you could do that. But remember, you have to adjust the color of these things. But I just wanted to show you have that option to customize as much as possible. All right. So that's it for this section. And remember, you don't have to worry about changing the products now. We're going to show you how to change it later and update it on your homepage. Next, you got this little section here. So on the main template, you will notice it looks like this. So this one's very easy. This section is very easy to do. All you have to do is whenever you need to click the background image, just hover over there and click on the middle dots here. And to change the background image, just go to style and you can choose whatever image you'd like and update it. Okay. And we recommend that you use a 1920 by 1080 size so it can look right. Okay. There's different things you can do. You can you can change the positioning of your image. You could do that here. You could do center left, um, top left, center, whatever you like. You can make it fixed. Fixed means that when people scroll, it kind of like looks like it's moving. So you could do that as well. You could do scroll. So as you move, it's just regular. Or you could just do the default. That's up to you. You could put it on repeat. You could put repeat. You could put repeat X. But this shows like on bigger screens and not so much this. And because it's on cover, it's not going to show. But if I put it on default, or if I put it on contain, you'll see that it repeats. Okay, it repeats on it, but we don't want that. So we're going to leave it on cover. You can also put it on custom as well. So you can have scrolling effects if you want, a vertical scroll, horizontal scroll. You can try it on your own. Since this video is not about that, you can do that. You can have some mouse effects if you'd like. Let's say you want to add a background overlay. A background overlay is like a tint or a filter. On this, you could do that here if you want. Just click on background type and choose the color you want. You can also do images as well. You could change the opacity down here. So you could easily do that. Now, if you want to add a border to the section, which I don't recommend, you can if you want, but that's up to you. A shape divider is pretty cool too. You can use that. Let's say you want to add a shape at the top. Let's do a tilt at the top. So maybe you want to add some pizzazz to your site. So instead of having it straight, you can do a tilt if you want. So there's lots of stuff you can try. You could do waves. Um, you could do arrow. They have different things you can try. So you can try different ones. Mountains, which is like amazing. Drops. This would have gone well with this one. With a cake or something. That would have been cool. But yeah, so you got different things you can try here. All right. So to edit, remember I told you for the lines, just click on the column and you can edit in style. So we won't go over that. Stylish suites on a budget. To edit the title, we already know how to do that. To edit text, you can just go in a text editor and then write it in here. I recommend you write it inside of here instead of pasting inside of here. To style, if you need to change alignment, you have to go to style for the text editor. You could do that here. The text, the color, and the typography is here as well. And same thing for the buttons. To edit the buttons, you have all the settings here. You could edit that, style, and things of that nature. So I believe that covers this section and this section as well. Okay. So these are simply repetitive. You follow the same process. Now here's a section that is probably not included in the main page, but it is included in your pack, in your template. And I'm going to show you exactly where to find this section. So let's say you're a coach or something and you wanted to add a section about you. You can go ahead and use this section, this layout. You can change the layout however you want. It's up to you. And at the end of this video, I'm going to show you a few transformations that we used. So yeah, so this is in about me section. It has a picture. It can have a welcome video from you, or maybe you can take out the whole this whole part here and you just want a video. It's all up to you. There's lots of options. That's the point of this template, to make it very flexible for you to edit and design a professional website. Okay, so let's try to go over some things that we did not go over. Notice here you see it says Giselle Brockton and it says Giselle Brockton here. You may be wondering, why is that? That's because when I went to mobile view to edit this, I was having some issues here with the other side, which is this one here. It didn't look too right. Oh, I'm sorry. This side right here didn't look too right on mobile. So I decided I'm going to take that one out and I'm going to hide that whole column. And I'm just going to add another section here. So I decided, let me add the text under here in mobile. And I'm going to hide this whole column. So as you can see, I wanted it to look like this, at least on mobile. Okay. It's not perfect, but I just wanted to show you as an example what to do. So remember, whenever you need to hide something on mobile or in tablet, you go to advanced and responsive, and then you'll be able to hide what you want. Okay. So some other features to learn how to do editing photos, very easy. Just click on that pink pencil and choose the photo that you want and upload. If you want to edit video is easy. You can go ahead and click on that. When you have a video, you have different options. You have YouTube. If you have a YouTube link, you could just put the YouTube link in there. Vimeo, if you have the link, you can put that in there. And Daily Motion. Self-hosted means that it's a video that you have, that you uploaded yourself to WordPress. So this is a self-hosted video. So we decided to use that one. And the good thing about self-hosted videos is because it doesn't have that YouTube thing. But if you want to attract people to your YouTube channel, I suggest you just use YouTube and a link. The good side about using YouTube is that it keeps your website a little faster and it doesn't load your website too much. Self-hosted videos can probably slow down your website. So that's the downside to a self-hosted. And down here, you can decide what you'd like to do here. You can autoplay, which I recommend because it catches people's attention while on the website. Make sure it plays on mobile. Make sure it's on mute because visitors tend to not like music playing when they just get to a website. It just reminds you a little bit of MySpace. All right, so mute. You can loop it so it can play all the time. You can show player controls if you want, so the viewer can either stop or mute or unmute. Um, Download button, if you want them to download the video, that's up to you. But if you want to protect your content, don't allow that. You can upload a poster in case the video doesn't work or the internet is like acting crazy. You can choose a picture as a fallback for whatever you have. So let's say if I wanted to use this picture just as an example as a fallback, you could it can automatically default back to that and it would have a play button on it. Now the image overlay is similar to the poster. This is if you don't want it to play automatically. So you can choose an image instead and do that. If you don't want to show it, just click on don't show it. Okay? All right. And let's see. In styling, the only thing you can do with a video is change its ratio. So you can change it to 1:1, which is square. You could change it to 3:2, 4:3. See, that's why I like self-hosted videos because it doesn't have that little black thing around it. But if it was YouTube, it would have been a different story. But 16:9, you could change it to 21:9. See, it keeps it all clean. 9:16, it's like a real size. So you could do lots of things with that. You can have fun with that. Okay. Now here's another section I want to highlight here. Notice this has a line. So to edit this line, if you don't want it here or you want to change the color, you have to edit it through the heading. Just click on heading and go to advanced. So this one's in the advanced tab. You go to border and then you can edit that here. So if you can want to change the color, you could do that and you can update that the way you want. Here's another widget that's interesting. It's called a toggle. So a toggle is basically a easy way to organize your information so you won't have long amounts of text on the page. So it's easy to edit that. Just click on that and then you can edit your toggle items. So for example, in the template, I'm going to show you where to add that in a few. All you have to do is go to templates and then you're going to go to my templates. And then you're going to look for the About Me services section. So on your page, it looks dark here, but on your page, it's probably like a lighter color. So all you have to do is just hover over it and click on Insert, Apply. And so here's the section with the template. So that's how you add that on here. Okay. So you can edit it the way you want and all that great stuff. So notice here on the template, you got this toggle here. And you could edit it any way you want. Okay. So we decided to change the text and all that. So first, before you do any of that, make sure you edit your toggle items, what you want to put. If you don't need something, you can click it off. If you want to duplicate something, you could just copy it. You could decide what kind of icon you want. There's lots of icons you can choose from. Just click on that and you could decide what you want. You can find one and update that the way you'd like. Same thing with active and things of that nature. To style it, if you want the width of the toggle of the border to be a certain width, it's 1, which is like these little lines here. And then the border color, I decided to do white but lighten it up so it could look a little different. You could put space between. The title is this part right here. This is the title. So I didn't want anything in the background, but I did want it to be white, and I wanted, when I click on it, I want it to be pink. So I can edit typography right here. And so whatever you do for one, it's going to do for all of the other ones as well. Okay. To edit the icon, which is this one, you can put it at the start. You can put it at the end as well. That's pretty cool too. You could do that. You can change the color of the icon if it's not already changed, but it's gonna, by default, it's gonna do the title color. You could do an active color. As far as the content, this is the information inside here. We didn't want any background color. You can have a background color if you want. You could set that here, and then the typography and things of that nature, the padding around. Padding is the spacing around the text. You can do that if you'd like. Okay, so that's how you edit a toggle, and that's how you edit this section. And just so you know, if you need additional category sections, you can find them in the template section. To add another category, simply just right after the place that you want to add it in, you're going to click on the plus sign instead of the middle. You can go ahead and click on the templates, the little folder in the middle, and then make sure you go to My Templates, and then you'll find the category block, and then you'll just put that in there and insert, and then just edit just like I showed you before. If you don't want a section, if you don't need a section, just click on the X, all right? And that'll be done, okay? So let's go ahead and continue with our transformation here. Here's another section we decided to go center instead of left. Okay, so on the template, it looks like this. It looks like this right here. But we decided, hey, let's do this centered for this bakery because we want to highlight the bake. And we changed the line as well, the direction. So let's show you how you can edit yours. All right, so we did the same thing we did in the header. So we click on the column, we went to advanced, and this time we adjusted the padding. Okay, so we made sure that we added padding on the right and on the left and on the bottom as well. Okay, so that's what we decided to do here. So that's pretty simple. And then to change the line to make it go from the left to the right, what we did, we went to style, border, and instead of having it on the left, which that's what it was on the template, as you can see here, it's on the left. So we decided to put it at the bottom, and we made it a little thicker. So we put it at the bottom. So that's why when you have the column, you have to make sure that you put padding at the bottom so it can have space between the button and here. Okay, so that's how we did that transformation. All right. So now let's talk about, the miscellaneous blocks that you could use for anything. There's lots of things you can use this bottom block for. Let's say if you have a community or if you have a blog, if you have quick links, if you want to make events or something like that, you could use this section to do that. So here's how we edited this section here. We're going to edit the colors that go over everything and the picture that's in the background. You go to style. To edit the picture, you can change it here, which you should know how to do already. And to edit the overlay, you go to background overlay and you can change it from here. Okay, make sure you click on classic as the background type. There's other background types. You can do gradients as well. Gradients are pretty cool. You can do that. See, that's a gradient if you wanted to. But we'll just stick to classic. And so you could do that as well. You could change the size of this spacer, or you can move this around if you want. If you want this to be at the top, um, you can just simply take this and say, hey, I want this down here. And then you can move that at the top. The reason why we put the spacer is so everything could be even. So that's the only reason why we put it there. But you could change the size of how big you want the spacer as well. These are simple. This is a heading. This is a text box. And this is just an image that we put here. It's an icon. And this is supposed to link to whatever you're sending them to. So to edit that, you're going to go ahead and put your link in here. If it's your blog, you're going to go ahead and click. You're going to type in blog. And it's going to go to the blog. Okay? So that's the cool thing about these things right here. So you can go ahead and do that. And yeah, that's how you edit that section. And now we're at the footer. We're at the footer. All right. So just like the header, you can go in there. You can do the footer as well. So all you have to do is just click and go to that section. So let's show you how that looks on the main template. So if it was you editing. I'm going to discard the changes because we don't need that. All right, to edit your footer, pretty simple as well because each widget is simple. I'll just touch on the different, the icon widgets so you can know the list widgets as well. So to edit your logo, you do the same thing. Just choose your image and then you would choose it from the media bin. And you can change the image size. And like I said before, I recommend if you want to change the image size, go to style instead and just change the width. It just keeps everything in proportion. The next type of widget you can edit here is called an icon list. This is just a more organized way to put things. Normally it has an icon, but if you don't need one, you can take it out. So to edit each part, you just put your information in here. And if it was something else, you would put an icon. But since it's just your address, you would put your information here, your phone number, and your email address. If you don't need something, you could just simply click the X and remove it. If you want to add a link to whatever you're putting, you can do that down here and add the link. So let me move this to the right so you can see it better. All right. This is a heading, and you should know how to edit a heading, but let's go to the form. To edit your forms, this is how you do that. There are form fields here. If you want to add more fields, you can either duplicate one and change that as well. You could change what you put inside of it. So the label, and make sure you put the type so they know what it is, especially if you're connecting it to your email list and things like that. So the label, here's that placeholder. You could put that. You can make it required if you want. Now column width, what this does is I wanted everything to be on one line. So what I did is that I made sure that this was 30%. And this was also 30%. And I'll show you what we did with the button to make sure it stayed on one line. But it doesn't have to be like that. You can change it around to what you want. Okay. So if you want to put a label, that's up to you. A label is like the little thing on right up top the field, but I don't think that's required since you already put a placeholder. So in my opinion, it's either you put a placeholder or a label, whichever you feel is right. A placeholder makes it a little cleaner. Now for your buttons, you can decide what size, extra small, and here's where you adjust the column width. So at first, if it was 100, it would have been at the bottom, but we don't want it like that. We want it to line up on one line, so we made it at 40%. If we did it at 33%, it would have been a little too short. So 40% was just right. Okay, so that's that. So these you don't have to touch too much. Submit button, these are like basic things that you can leave. So that's what you can do. You can decide if the button is to the right or center or to the left, but we justified it to make sure it spreads out evenly. Okay? Now, actions after submit. Why would you use this? Well, this is where you usually connect your email list to, like if you use a MailChimp or a ConvertKit or a Flowdesk, this is where you would normally do it. Now, let's say, for example, someone comes to your website and they put their information in here. It's still going to collect the information, and I'll show you where that information is going to be housed. But other than that, if you want to connect it to an email list so you can go with your automations, I'll have to do another video on that because this video is already long as it is. So I would have to do another video. All right, but this is where you would do that. You would do actions after submit and different things, and then you'll see different things pop up. And then it's going to collect the submissions. And this is just so you can let them know what email that the information is coming from, where to send new messages and notifications to you. And make sure you put the from email here, which is important. You can leave it like that. Yeah, that's it. Step settings, you probably don't need that right now. And additional options, you probably don't need that right now. That's for more advanced things. But that's an overview of the form. Now, let's say you want to change the colors of the form. You do that here. If you want to put gaps, 10%, this is like the gap in between, which I recommend you just leave like that. Yeah, you can edit each little thing, the colors. You can do that as well here. The field, this is editing this part here, so you can put the text color. The typography is here, and you can put the background color. I decided to go a little lighter, so I used this green color here and I went a little lighter. Okay, so that's how you would edit that. And yeah, that's basically how you would do that. And if you want a border radius to round your corners, you can do that and adjust that here. To edit the button, just simply go here, change your background color and text color. You could change your typography as well up here. And then to hover, same thing. Same stuff. All right, so that's how you edit that. Now let's look at these links here. The headings, you can simply just change it to what you want and style it to what you want, as you've learned before. So you can always edit that, and I'll show you a transformation in a minute. Here's another icon list, just like this side here. You can edit what you want or remove what you want. You don't have to link everything, so you can put that information here. Yeah, that's basically it. You can apply a link to each thing so they can go somewhere. Make sure you open it and paste the link in here. That's all you have to do. And then of course, if you want to style it, you can put space between these icons. You can put an icon next to it if you want. And then the text itself, you can edit it here. Okay? Now let's look at the social media icon list. So here you can do that as well. Just simply, you can change the icon, but I think that's the only icon they have on Facebook. Just paste your link in here. Same thing with Twitter, same thing with YouTube. If you don't have one of these social media platforms, just remove it. If you need to add one, you can just find one. So let's say you want to find TikTok. Let's see if they have TikTok. Oh, they don't. Let's try Spotify. If you want to add Spotify, you can just click on that and it will show. And as you can see down here, you just click insert and then Spotify will show and then you can put a link there. Okay. To edit the footer, here's what I recommend you put in your footer. Make sure you put the copyright date or the date that you're editing your website. And then make sure you put the name of your company. If you want to give us a shout out, you can always leave this here. Designed with love by Vizia Creative Agency. But since you're the designer, since we've empowered you to be the designer, you can say designed by us or designed by our team. All right. If you have a privacy policy, you can go ahead and link that down here. You just copy, you just highlight it and then you link it. So to whatever that is. Same thing with terms and conditions and a refund policy. So that's how you edit the footer. Okay. If you want to change the background color, same thing with the other ones. Just click on the section, go to style, and simply make sure your background type is on that paintbrush classic, and then change your background color. All right. So let's take a look at this transformation here in our footer, in our bakery footer. So that's what we did. We did all the steps that I just mentioned here. And notice this one has only 3 links for each column. So we took one out and we didn't need that. We moved some things around. So that's the transformation for the footer. And in the background, we changed the style, changed the background. You could put an image, you could put an overlay, whatever you'd like. Okay? So, yeah, that's it. That's it. That's how you edit your home page. So in the next video, we're going to show you how to edit and connect your products to make sure that everything is working in WooCommerce. So yeah, thank you for purchasing this template, and I hope you're empowered to create your own professional website. Okay. All right. Have a good one.